movies, TV show, and literature. Let's shake things up. You may call me Luke Garou. And for those of you who are just turning in, welcome! Come and sink your teeth into my opinion of all things movie, TV, and book. Don't quote me. I might, just to really shake things up, give my opinion on music too. Might, don't quote. Depends upon whether or not I actually, get my books. They're currently in storage. Stupid adult life. The camera woman's laughing at me. Because, adulthood is overrated. Stay a kid as long as you can, kids. And please don't have any kids watching this. There are some of my videos that are really deep topics. But this one is entitled Feeling Too Much. And sadly, I do not have videos to show you because I Netflixed. Yes, I am turning Netflix into a verb. I Netflixed both Equilibrium from 2002 and 2014's The Giver. Now, Equilibrium has Christian Bale, Sean Bean, and our buddy Sean Pertwee. You heard me talk about him twice before on this channel. Both of which in werewolf movies. Equilibrium is not a werewolf movie. It is very similar to The Giver in that the societies want to suppress human emotions because they're classed as wrong and evil and destructive. And let's face it, if misdirected, yes, emotions can be very destructive. Look at somebody who gets hurt and takes it out on someone else. Prime example, Marion hurts Sir Guy in season 2 of BBC's Robin Hood, and he is in so much pain that spoilers, he stabs her. Because she hurt him so badly, he hurt her. Unfortunately, he was in such shock, pain-induced shock, he didn't realize he stabbed her until after he held her bloody body. So yeah, emotions can be very dangerous, especially if you're told you're not allowed to feel them. Now, going back to my two movies, both societies are using a chemical injection. The Giver has it every morning right into your arm. You just walk by the door and dose, 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 and it has the consequence of not only suppressing your emotions and your deeper thought processes, it alters your body's ability to see the color spectrum. So you're literally looking at the world through shades of gray. Whereas Equilibrium, they take the shot, the injection straight to their throat, and it just cuts down all their emotions. Very, very horrible societies. Because if you truly paid attention, they were stagnant. They were as far as they could go because they stunted anything that would make someone else say, hey, why don't we try this? No, we're going to say even keel. This is normal. This is society. This is what we want. You think here, you're wrong. That was both of them. Where the two societies diverged is that in Equilibrium, anyone who decided they didn't want to continue the injections and start feeling again were rounded up and murdered. Oh, they didn't call it murder. They called it justice. But it was still cold-blooded, heartless murder. For the giver, anyone who didn't want to take part were outside the city. They were walled away. The city was walled away so that the perfect society was behind a barrier that anyone who crossed it, or specifically if a giver crossed it, it would nullify the drug and everything they had in their atmospherics to keep the people in line. And yeah, I just gave a massive spoiler for that movie. But the difference was, if you wanted to feel and you didn't want to be part of society and be a citizen, and then you were left alone. It was a stay out of our life, stay out of our city, and we'll leave you alone. As opposed to, you're a threat because you're feeling you're going to take others with you, so we're going to kill you. That's a massively different, massively different take on human emotions are bad. And having differences of opinion are bad. We wouldn't have most of our scientific discoveries if there weren't differences in opinions, people. Because, sadly, nuclear bombs wouldn't exist if we could use nuclear fusion to power our cities, didn't have someone else go, oh, I could take your generator and turn it into this awesome bomb. Yeah, I know I went to a very dark and disturbing place. But it was horrible. But several experiments that were extremely cruel and unusual led to our pressurized airplanes, led to x-rays, led to prenatal care that saved thousands of babies a year. Again, differences of opinions. I'm going to take this thing to hurt people. Well, everything you learn to hurt people, I can take and use to help people. And vice versa. That is how civilizations grow. The other big difference between Equilibrium and The Giver is that in Equilibrium, they were destroying anything and everything from the past that elicited an emotion. The Mona Lisa, Starry Night, poetry from all over the world, rounded up and burned because they were thought-provoking and they inspired you to feel. So, destroying their past and keeping all their citizens on this drug literally made every younger generation that was on the drug have nothing to look back on. They didn't see what they lost. They didn't see where they had come from. They only saw what they wanted to see, what the government wanted them to see. Now, in The Giver, they kept all of their history, all of their thought-provoking books, all of their images, all of everything, their global histories of each country and how they amalgamated into a single society was all kept in the Giver's house. And when Jeff Bridges' character, who happened to be the Giver, was getting older, a younger giver was basically born to take over. He was played by Brenton Thwaites. And when Brenton started to learn about everything society locked away, it hurt him to realize that Meryl Streep said, when people are allowed to choose, they choose wrong. You don't learn and grow if you don't make mistakes. That's part of being a human being. Unfortunately, both societies say if you make mistakes, you're irredeemable. You can't come back from that. You need to be punished. In The Giver, you err and you make mistakes. Nice quiet poison. You're out. Equilibrium, you make mistakes, you're thrown into an incinerator. Hello. Human beings are not meant to be the same. Because if we were, and if you want to get into a biblical take, if we were meant to be the same, we would not be following Jesus and God's plan. We would be following the devil's plan. Because he said, I will make sure every single person comes back. They will start to finish, live their life and come right back to you. That's a cookie cutter design. That is a everybody toes the line. Yes, master. We believe mentality. And he went, but because I'm going to put all this effort in, props to me. Forget you. The other course was, no, you have your life. She has her life. They have their lives. And how can we learn, grow, and help each other see that we are all human, but it's our differences that make our life interesting. And I don't mean, oh, hey, they're whatever. Let's pick on them because they're different. No, that is the worst thing you can do. I'm talking about, oh, as I did in one of my stories, oh, you're a Vordelek, a Russian werewolf. Oh, you're a Hawaiian werewolf. How are you? You're both werewolves, but the Vordelek, thicker fur, denser muscles, more equipped for the colder weather. The Hawaiian werewolf, sleeker, more equipped for the tropical weather. What happens if we join forces? Or, in the case of my story, what happens to our son who has to deal with both heritages? Yes, I'm currently writing it. No, it is not finished. Yes, I hope to get it published. The camera woman smiling at me. But understanding and open discussion and dialogue is what takes away the fear. They said it in Luca. We're not afraid of you. Well, we are all afraid of you because you are different and you are monsters. No. Just because you don't understand something doesn't automatically make it dangerous. Granted, if you see a snake you've never seen before, don't approach it. Because it's a wild animal. And wild animals, when scared, do one of two things. Bite your sorry butt or run away. That's just a wild animal. Doesn't matter what species it is. Well, yeah, if it's like a breed of pupper. Unless it's rabid, and then it'll just tear you apart. Yeah, pupper sniff. They're like, wait a minute, what are you? camerawoman just reminded me that bears will come up and sniff and investigate to see whether or not you're a threat. But avoid polar bears. Polar bears can sniff you from a mile away, and if they get your scent, they go, "Ooh, food." Because they're so big, they actively hunt us. And now that our diets are so poor, we have about as much fat content as a seal. So, stay out of polar bear territory. Because if they sniff you, you're going to be dinner if you're not careful. My camera was being goofy behind the camera. And that's the problem. Society, even nowadays, is finally, thankfully, leaning away from females, whether born, chosen, whatever, aren't allowed to feel passion or sexual desire or anything, anger or anything remotely masculine. We're supposed to feel everything. We are designed to feel everything. The trick is to feel it. Say, yes, I feel this way. Yes, it is okay that I feel this way. Will I act on that feeling? No, now that I've thought about it, I don't have to act on that feeling. I can take a step back from it. Unfortunately, we still have a lot of knee-jerk reactions to something. And for any of you who have seen Young Frankenstein, the perfect example of a knee-jerk reaction is when Frankenstein threatens to knee a guy between the legs and the guy crumples to protect himself. That's a knee-jerk reaction. Something prompts an instant, unconscious, I need to protect myself reaction. And for a lot of people, it stems from something they might not even be aware of. Which is really sad because for decades, we've been told if you are sad or depressed or anything not normal, and I hate that term. I hate the term normal, because what's normal for a single mom of 2 is not the same, is not the norm for a married woman with no kids, or a single woman with no kids, or a single mom of 5, or a married lesbian couple of 2. Normal is subjective. It is what you are comfortable with, not what society is. Because, I'm sorry, unless you have a monthly cycle, you're not going to know the annoying pain and constant, am I leaking through my pants, that come from it. So, again, that's normal for some people. And to say, oh, no, you have to be like this because that's what I go through during my monthly cycle. No, not the same. Again, human beings are not meant to be the same. We are all human. Yes, we are all human. And as a Heinz 57 mutt, whose ancestors literally said, we are not going to teach our ancestral culture to our grandchildren because we went through Ellis Island. My normal is American. I am an American. excuse me, I am a citizen of the United States of America. Because to say we're American means Canada and Mexico aren't America, and they're part of North America as well. The camerawoman just smirked. Yeah, I know. I'm throwing all sorts of shade all over everything. But again, it goes back to what we feel. And I'm highly passionate about learning and understanding the differences and seeing that, oh, they're not as different as everyone said they should be. And that's literally why both societies in Equilibrium and The Giver failed. Because when they finally started to realize that we are meant to feel, we are meant to be different, the society self-destructed because people were relearning how to live. Because there is a state of being called survival mode. And that is literally the get up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to bed, get up. And Shaun of the Dead does it the best. It's that zombie, repetitive routine. Living comes when your family goes on a vacation and you meet new people. And you're making the fun, happy memories. And you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Because comfort zones are put up, whether consciously or not, by fear. If there's no unknown, there's no fear. Well, that's not true. There's plenty of things to be afraid of. But another culture shouldn't be one of them. Your own feelings shouldn't be one of them. But these are my opinions. Feel free to disagree. Will you watch Equilibrium? Will you watch The Giver? Will you watch them back to see where there's similarities? I'm tired. Where their similarities are, and will you watch them to see where their differences lie? Could you see how one society could have come from the other, or vice versa? Because yeah, I totally saw that connection. But I'm odd like that. Because I'm also the weirdo that fanficked 6 songs from YouTube, 6 Among Us songs from YouTube with the BBC crew of Robin Hood for my kids. They absolutely adore it. It's called Boredom. But like I said, these are my opinions. Feel free to disagree. Rescue the subscribe button from zombies. Ring the bell, but don't treat it like a dinner bell. And then find the like button and tend to whatever injuries it has received from overuse. Be kind to me, be kind to each other, because kindness is the key to understanding. And see you next time. Bye.